I'll be going through the answers quickly, so make sure your course book is open and in front of you, and please stop and rewind the video as you need to. So, got your book open in front of you? Are your answers in capitals? Want to know why the answers are the answers? Then let's go. For question number 1, 2 things to bear in mind. First of all, which of the answers collocates with rapidly before the gap? If we think about that, then that narrows down our list of possible answers to 2, B and C. The second thing we've got to take into account is what the text is really trying to say, and that is there is an increasing number or an increasing size of something. And bearing that in mind, it further narrows down the answer just to leave us with C. So here it would be, are you aware that clothes are the most rapidly growing waste item in the UK? For question number 2, 2 things that we've got to bear in mind. First of all, which of these adjectives correctly collocates with wardrobe? Can a wardrobe be full, filled, crowded, or occupied? Well, it can be full and it can be filled, given the correct context. However, if we pay attention to the preposition after the gap, of, then that narrows down the answers to only one, which is A, full of something. If it was filled, then it would be filled with something. So here the answer is A. For question number 3, the key sentence pattern is that which follows the gap. In other words, there is a that clause, that they're no longer in fashion. Only one of the answers that we're given can actually work with a that clause, and that is C, persuaded. For question number 4, let's have a look at the vocabulary around the gap. First of all, the substitutive term before the gap, them. Them is referring to clothes which are no longer in fashion. If we have a look at the language afterwards, it says, so they do fit. So, given the context, we're talking about perhaps changing the clothes. Well, if you change clothes, the correct verb is to alter clothes. And that's why the answer for question number 4 is D, altered. For question number 5, the context here is that you're dealing with something directly. You're not going around it, you're not pretending it's not there, you're not dealing with it indirectly. You are dealing with it directly. So the answer that we've got to choose from the 4 options that we've got means that you deal with something directly. And only one of the answers means that, and that is B, to tackle something head on. For question number 6, 2 things you've got to take into account. First of all, the answer has got to collocate with set yourself, and secondly, it's got to collocate with the preposition after the gap, which is of. So which of these 4 can you set yourself with, and which collocates with of? Well, the answer is D, set yourself the target of. For question number 7, tricky, but it's a question of vocab. Why? Well, we can quickly narrow down the possible answers to 2, C and D, and this is where your knowledge of vocabulary comes in, because notion is a vague, general idea, whereas thought is rather more specific. And given the context that we're dealing with here, that's why the answer is D, thought. For question number 8, if we read on past the gap, it talks about sharing clothes. Sharing clothes with your friends. So we're talking about exchanging clothes with your friends. I'll wear some of my friends' clothes, they'll wear some of mine, that kind of thing. So we need to choose an answer which means the same as exchange. If we have a look at the list of answers that we've got, getting, taking, swapping, giving, the only one that means the same as exchange is C, swapping.